Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the technical trader at thetechtrader.com, of course. It's time for the weekend. It's time for the charts of the day, and this is going to be a swing trade review, which we do every Thursday, and there's a lot of them, so bear with me. I'm going to start off with ACTG alphabetically, of course, as we usually do. And you can see that it popped out and platformed for a couple months, and now popped again, and it's wedging. Today was a nice day, up 5%. Volume is low. It's a thinly traded stock, but if this gets out above that 530 area, I think we're seeing 6 and 7.5. AEHR popped out of the falling wedge and in the falling channel and the base, and then pulled back to test. And yesterday moved back up again. I like the look of it. Wasn't up that much today, but my target remains up in that 14.5, 15 zone for starters. APN popped and pulled back in the wedge, and we put a swing on it. It's gone from about the 490 range up to almost 6. Today we're at 598 was the high. That's the highest level in 3 months. I believe we have a good shot at getting this to extend to 7.25. CHPT, a V bottom with a right-handed extension, and then a little bit of a mini inverse head and shoulders. Today it popped dramatically up to 11. 16%, trading almost 20 million shares, the biggest volume since back in March when it broke out. So I'm expecting an extension, and my target is 20. CLFD swing trade continues to give as it broke out here. We put a swing on it. It pulled back. It's reversed sharply from 67 to today's high at 91 and change, a 24 point run. It's at my target, but I'm a believer that this channel is going to extend, and we're looking at 110. CPNG, the bottom of the right-hand extension breakout. We put a swing on it and then pull back to retest the breakout point and the moving averages, as well as what looks like a trend line right there. At this point, it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm expecting a fifth wave to take it up to 20.5. Ford Motor continues to impress. Today's action was especially strong, 94 cents, 7%, only 150 million shares. That's the biggest volume on an up day since early January when it popped and broke out as well. So at this point, I'm expecting extension to 15 and 16.5 for starters. Funko, which broke out, pulled back, and then broke out hard here, filling the gap beyond that. Then ran up, formed a big wedge. Today was a massive breakout of that wedge, jumping 207 or 8.5%. 1.6 million, the biggest volume in a couple of months. Call it a month and 5 weeks, thereabout. Looking for an extension on this one to get it up. But by the way, we're at the multi-year high. There's resistance up here, showing it to you that way. If we do run, the all-time high is up around 29.5, 3/4. That's your next target. Up next, INBX, which popped out across the decline top sign. And this was a little mini inverse head and shoulder breakout right there. Put a swing on it. It's now run from the 11 range to 21.75, doubling. And the recent action shows pullback time or a consolidation, perhaps a lessening of the angle of ascent, which is fine with me. I don't want it to get too far, too fast ahead of itself. But right now, it appears that could be a rising channel. There's your support, which you tagged today, about 18. We go through this, we're looking at 25. INMD broke out of its base, platformed, broke out of that flag, and with an explosive move, up 4 points today, at 13.5%. Then doing it on 5 million shares. One of the bigger volumes of the last couple of months, but this looks like a confirmed breakout, and I'm now looking for 42. KNX broke out of a base, retested, and then the last couple of days right back up again. Today's gain of $1.76, 3.5% wasn't a lot, but it looks like it's on its way to 56, 59, and 62.3. Lucid has pulled back disappointingly. It's still in a basing pattern. I'm going to need this to hold that line and not go much lower than right where it is, so you can stop it under 17.5. If it does go, retesting 21 and then into the mid-20s would be my potentials. Low price OMER exploded from under 2 to nearly 5. Pulls back, forms a wedge, and today broke out of the wedge, it appears. The declining top sign right there may have been pierced. It was only up a little bit, 5%, but I'm looking for us to see if it gets over 480, then your target's 7. Perion popped out and pulled back. It's backing and filling this area. I expect this stock to make a big move in the next few weeks, but I need to see evidence that for starters, it can get over 20.5, and then we're on our way to the mid-20s. QURE broke out, pulled back in a flag, and then took off. Right now, it's in a rising channel as well. This swing trade looks very solid. I'm looking for a move now to get up to 30 or better. Roblox, V bottom with a right hand extension and a breakout and a pullback and a wedge. The wedge is within the channel. That broke out yesterday and followed through a bit today. What I'm looking for now is to pop through 44.50. That should get it to 52.3 and then 58.60. Rivian looking a little bit better than Lucid. Today was up $1.99 or 6%. And all I'm going to need now is this one to get to 35.41 or so. And your next target is 41.42. Sega, been a monster for us, and it looks great. Continuing to push today was exceptional. I told you last week if it gets to 15 and a half, it may explode. And certainly if it took out 17 and a quarter or half, they would probably run it to the low 20s. Well, it did that today, jumping from 1668 to 2296, finishing not far off of that, up 468 or 26%. Buying was a solid 39 million shares. And at this point, I'm not clear how far they can take it, but I am looking at a parallel channel, perhaps a run up into the mid-20s. SWIR popped out. We put a swing on it and pulled back, made a higher high and backed off again to test what I think is the trend line. Look at the engulfing reversal day today, though. 22 to 25, finished at 25, up 202. Almost a 9% gain, targeting 27 and 30.31. Little TAL with an inverse head and shoulder breakout and then a stair step its way higher. Had pulled back to test the breakout point last week before bouncing again. We're at resistance right in here. Next targets are going to be 6 3/4 and 9. TMDX broke out. We put a swing on it. It backed off and consolidated. Broke out again. Today's jump of $1.31 or about 3.5% takes it to new, looks like 52-week highs. Now a target up in the mid to high 40s will be very doable. And the first target is 42. TPIC we put on today after, looks like an inverse head and shoulder base breakout with a spike up on heavy volume of almost 3 million. That's big for that stock. Now looking for a move that takes it into the 24 zone. VERV exploded. We put a swing on it and went past both of my targets. Reached as high as 36 3/4 before pulling back in the last week. Still, I don't mind this pattern. I believe it's essential for the stock to back and fill a little bit. My target's going to be mid-40s. And finally, low price trucker Yellow Corp, which formerly was YRCW or Yellow Roadway Express, took out its declining top sign yesterday and today followed through with a nice pop of about 10%. I like the way it's acting. First, it needs to test 5 1/4, and then you're looking at 7. And that's a look at some of the hot stocks at thetechtrader.com. Bye, everybody.